Hi, I'm Larry from Way Out One. I've been reselling for over 30 years. I've been reselling on eBay for over 20 years. Today I have a new video for you. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get to it. Today's video is the top 10 items I sold on eBay in May. It was a good assortment of items. I sold some golf items, some toys, some non-sports cards, some comic-related items, some historical type things, one super odd item that we'll talk about when I get to it. All right, let's get to it. The 10th highest item I sold in May was this Monogram Camaro. It came from the model lot that I picked up in April. I have sold a large number of these models already, and this one sold for $79. I picked up a total of, I think, 29 models, and I believe I'm down to about a dozen left. The next highest thing that I sold was this realistic Equalizer. I went to a private pick. Person called me and said a friend of theirs had some trains they wanted to sell. So I called my buddy who's a train guy, and we went to it, and we agreed on the way there that I was just going to take a commission on the trains, and he would be open to buy the trains for me, could buy them for, and I would look and see if there's anything else that I was interested in. And because the person was moving to Florida and they just wanted to clear out a bunch of stuff. So I ended up picking up this Equalizer, but I also picked up a large number of 45s and a few albums and some 8 tracks. I paid a total of $100 for all the stuff I picked up. There was well over 800 45s. And again, this sold for $80. My assumption is I have about $15 in this, and it sold within a few days of listing it. So the 8th highest item I sold was a set of DC comic stickers. There was 30 in this set. They were from 1978. They were about the half size of a normal trading card. Found these in my death pile when I was cleaning it up. I probably have owned these for well over 15 years, maybe closer to 20. And they were just sitting around, and found it when I was going through things from October through February. They probably got listed around December or January. So they've been out there for 4 or 5 months before they sold. The 7th highest item I sold, this is the odd one, is this Juiceman II. It's a juicing machine. It's in the original box. It's really clean. It has all the paperwork, has the cassette actually in how to operate it. Has a cookbook, I think, or a mixture book on what you can make mixtures of. It was in really nice shape. Another thing, I picked this up at a different private pick. We drove about an hour and a half away to pick stuff that we thought we were going to be the first people at, and we were like maybe the 4th person to pick. So there wasn't very much there when we got there. We did fill the car pretty full, but we didn't spend very much. Probably had $10 in this, and again, it sold for $95. This was the 6th highest item we sold. Bought this at an estate sale in the middle of May. There was it was the last day of estate sale. Everything was half off. Picked up a bunch of Ghostbusters stuff. There were one boxed item and a couple other vehicles, plus some obviously Ghostbuster accessories. These 3 things. 2 Ghostbuster guns, a water gun, plus the one that projects. Just a bunch of Ghostbuster stuff. Plus there was some Turtles vinyl cases, a Ghostbuster vinyl case, and a DC Heroes vinyl case, all from the 80s. Plus I picked up a Rusted Root concert poster. I got all that stuff for $65. I assumed I was paying like $1 each for these when I did the average when I was paying for stuff. And then when I looked them up and realized that I get $100 for them, I listed them. It was probably the first thing I listed out of that assortment of stuff. And it sold within the first day of listing it. And there was like 2 lowball offers. Like I listed it late at night, was going to bed, had 2 offers before I fell asleep, woke up, and it sold for the full price, $100. Another set of non-sports cards. This set sold for $125. It was a combined set of 69 and 70. They released this in 1969, then they released some additional cards in 1970, I think. So this is a complete set of 99 cards. I picked this up at an estate sale. There's one complete set. I probably have well over another 100 cards to sell, but I bought a whole bunch of other stuff at this estate sale, and I paid $100 for all the cards, but I bought a bunch of other stuff that I got really a great deal on. Like it was $20 for 2 full bags of stuff. So if you average the value, I paid probably $45 or $50 for this. And this sold within a month of listing it, I believe. It sold pretty quick. All right, my first golf item. This was a standalone S7K mallet putter. It had the head cover for it. It was in excellent condition. I paid $5, and it sold for $125. I went to England. The guys already got it, gave me positive feedback, and messaged me. It's very happy with it. I just started selling clubs in the last year, and I've done very good with them. It's kind of shocking to me on how much money you can make out of golf clubs. And my next golf item is a golf bag. This was a brand new Tito's Vodka Callaway golf club bag, promotional item. I bought this at a garage sale. I paid $75 for it. The lady had it priced at $100. It was early on the Saturday morning, and it might have been one of the first or second garage sales I hit that morning. And I looked at some of the comps. There was one listed for $300. I don't think any had sold at that time. And I was like, oh, let's take a shot at it. And it sold within a few weeks of listing it. The next item is this 1950s Hamilton Jeep. So I have a tie for number 1 and 2. This is the first item that sold for $400. I picked this up at an estate sale. I paid $100 for it. It had a bunch of interest in it. Lots of watchers. Had a few people message me trying to convince their wives that it was okay to buy it. And the guy who bought it with local pickup, though he didn't really live local. He lived at the other end of the state, but he was planning to come to my area for a graduation. So he picked it up about a month after he bought it. He was a great guy. He was a retired Air Force person, he had been in the Air Force at one point in time, collected a lot of cool pedal cars. We had a great conversation, showed me some of the stuff he has. He has a really cool airplane pedal car that's really neat. But he's going to totally redo it. He'd already bought some of the stuff to redo it. I think there's supposed to be some kind of guardrails to go along the back ends of it and some stickers. But he was very excited about it. And the other item I sold for $400 was the Sandman Statue bookends. It's from 1996. It was in my death pile. It was one of those items that I listed in October when I started diving into the death pile and stopped buying stuff. It was big. It has some issues with it. It was not mint. One of the crystal balls in one of the guy's hands had broken loose. It was repairable, but it had broken loose. And there was a manufacturing defect in the back of one of the statues, I think on the gray one. And it looked like it had been touched up by the factory. That's all I can say. It was kind of bent in and just didn't look uniform. So I showed that in the photos, listed all those things, and I had it listed for $700. It had been sitting there for about 6 months, and it's big and it took up a lot of space. So when I got the offer for $400, I was pretty happy to let it move along. Again, because of the issues with it, I knew I wasn't going to get top dollar for it. So that was the 10 items I sold in May. The top 10 items I sold in May. I sold more than 10 items. I sold almost 300 items in May. So just a great variety of things. A lot of a few comic related things. DC, no Marvel this time, and it was a good month. Made almost $10,000 in sales. So what was the best item that you found in May, or was the best item that you bought in May? Put it down in the comments down below. Thanks for checking out the video, and I'll have another one up here in a little while. Thanks a lot. Know what you're gonna find when you're out garage sailing.